While since I've done an episode of the Weekly Pool. Oh, hey guys, that was slightly embarrassing, but guys, I finally got a hold of Captain America, Steve Rogers #1, so that's going to be the highlight of this issue of the Weekly Pool. We're going to tackle that, but before that, we're going to tackle a few other books, if that's okay with you. So here we go. Intro!
Knock, knock, open up the door. It's Will.
Alright guys, this is issue 4 of the Weekly Pool. Just one slight announcement before I start. I'm catching up currently. I'm thinking about doing a show tackling comic book stories or maybe past graphic novels that are recommendations. I might just call them the Weekly Pool Special. For a good jumping on point, maybe it's like a past story that I'm currently reading that you should read. I can tackle that, tell you maybe like what the first issue is about, and if it's a story arc or a graphic novel that you think you could stick your teeth into, by all means you need to do it, because comic books are awesome. I mean, they're adapting them into movies. We've had at least 8 or 9 of them almost, and the year is not over. So that's probably the only announcement I have. Besides that, let's get into the pool. Alright, first off, I tackled Scooby Apocalypse #1 from DC Comics, based on a concept by Jim Lee. I almost feel like I'm doing this like Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow, boo-ba-da-boo-boo. But Scooby Apocalypse. Alright, some context here for you guys. DC, Warner Brothers, and Hanna-Barbera are kind of like all under the same umbrella. And DC Comics is using those rights to make Hanna-Barbera comics that are like more mature or cooler ideas. And this is one of several ideas they have. I'll dive into this here in a second, but the other books that are coming out are Future Quest, which is Johnny Quest, Space Ghost, Harvey Birdman, not the Attorney at Law, but like just actual Birdman. The Herculoids, they're all teaming up. They're forming their own cinematic comic universe. And Wacky Raceland, which is the Wacky Racers, but like in a Mad Max apocalyptic world, and just based on Fury Road, I want to read that. I mean, I want to see Dick Dastardly, maybe like spray stuff going, what a lovely day, There are so many references in this. I bet you guys love this, but we're tackling Scooby Apocalypse #1. So first off, the Scooby Gang has not yet met in this universe, which I already love. We're getting a new origin story for the Mystery Inc. gang, but you can't really call them that because they're not solving mysteries, at least not yet. Alright, I'll just tell you the status quo for everybody right now. Fred and Daphne are filming a mystery show similar to Ripley's Believe It or Not, or like the Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel or whatever. And it's almost similar to the show they were doing on Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, but it's just them. They haven't met the other guys, and they don't have that fame of solving mysteries as kids. So they're doing that, and they're trying to meet some secret deep throat for this company, which turns out to be Velma Dinkley. She's a genius. I mean, we've known this from the other shows. Velma's super smart, but she's like a higher up in this corporation, and she wants to expose the truth of this company who wants to take over the world and make everybody slaves. And also working for that company is Shaggy. A lot of people were hating on Shaggy's redesign. He kind of looks like a hipster, but this is a more modern Scooby-Doo comic book, and I am fine with all the redesigns here. Velma's a bit too up her own ass, but I feel like Sheldon, Tony Stark, Stephen Strange, all the smart ones are always assholes, so it makes sense that she would be like this. And Scooby-Doo, how does Scooby-Doo factor into all of this? Let me see. Hard to explain, but Velma's company hires Shaggy to sort of be like the Chris Pratt. That's funny. I didn't even think about that until just now. I'm really smooth. He's like sort of like the Chris Pratt with the Velociraptors, but he's helping these dogs in the Smart Dog program. They want to train these dogs, make them super smart and be able to talk, similar to the ones in Up or even, I don't even know, almost like the Velociraptors in Jurassic World. They want to militarize these dogs and make them smart. Scooby was in the first run of like these smart dogs, but we all know Scooby, he has that weird speech impediment. The Smart Dog program does not work for him. So he is sort of like one of like the failures in there, but Shaggy's like, oh, he's not a failure. I mean, he's still smarter than an average dog, so like I'm still going to train this dog no matter what. So they become friends, and like I said before, Fred and Daphne are going to meet Velma, who wants to expose their company for using these nanites to take over the world and make everybody their mind slaves. Shaggy also gets in the mix here. Him and Scooby go out to get food because it wouldn't be a Scooby-Doo comic without those guys eating food. And I feel like I'm being really monotone about this, but it's really solid. Wordy too, I'll mention. I know I just mentioned the funny stuff about Fred throwing a rock at Velma because he thought she was a mole person, but like I said, this book is a bit wordy. I would totally recommend this to hardcore Scooby fans. Maybe for the younger kids, probably not a big thing, but if you want a new interpretation of Scooby-Doo, I totally recommend Scooby Apocalypse #1. DC and the theme of Rebirth, we are tackling Superman's Rebirth #1. I'm going to specify here that DC is doing one-shots right now throughout the month of June to get people ready for the Rebirth. What's a one-shot? A one-shot is a little one-off, one-side story to kind of get you up to speed / tell a quick story to get you excited for what's to come. Similar to the free comic book day issues, or just there's a big event going on, they'll usually print a one-shot then. Since Rebirth is a company-wide thing, they are doing it for most of their books right now. So, for instance, with this Superman Rebirth issue, this is this whole separate thing. Like, I have this one, I'm done with Superman Rebirth. But when the comics come back into full swing, I want to grab Action Comics 957 or the new Superman #1 or all new Superman #1. Those are where the new stories are going to start. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, go in the comments below or do a quick Google search to clarify what you need or what you want to read. But this is a great jumping on point. So, like I mentioned with DC Rebirth, the new 52 version of Superman has died. Very sad, I know, but it's comics. He'll come back, right? Or will he? We are greeted by the Superman pre-New 52, which there's some weird comic continuity things, but just get you up to speed. The 90s Superman is on our world with Lois and his son. And they've been living in the New 52 world since it started. They've just been secluded, and Superman's going to keep him to himself and saving people in mystery because that's in Clark Kent's nature. The Kents taught him well. He saves people no matter what. So even though he wants his peace and quiet, he still saves people. He's Superman. We also get some flashes and new redone art of the Doomsday fight because he mentions, while he's thinking about this Superman's death, he's thinking about his own and how much he had to do, how much effort he had to put into fighting Doomsday. And those shots are beautiful. I love the images here, the splash pages. They are great. The doing of Doomsday fight, I love it. We also see some images of the reign of the Superman, him in his black and silver suit, and then he hears a noise, and it's young Miss Lana Lang. In the comics, is a redhead. Anyway, she made a promise to Clark to get him buried next to his parents. That's the one thing he asked her before this event of killing the New 52 Superman happened. So she's going to honor it. And this Superman offers to help her. They talk, and he mentions, "Oh, hey, I died, so I have faith your Superman will come back." And she's like, "Oh, she's like, "Oh, do you think?" But they reminisce, and they kind of catch. He gets her up to speed of who he is, and he also mentions, "Oh, hey, I died once and came back. Your Superman might come back too. Has he ever said anything about a regeneration matrix?" Huh? No, he hasn't. Let's go to the Fortress of Solitude. So they go there, and Clark feasts his eyes on this version of the Fortress of Solitude, and he also notices that the New 52 Superman has, of course, the famous L statues holding up Krypton, and for those of you who don't know, that happens. But I think I mentioned it in the earlier issues of the Death event. He made a new statue of the Kents holding up Earth, and he's like, "Oh wow, like I never even thought of that. This guy's a lot wiser than me. I can't believe that." But they reminisce. They go to the Kryptonian computer crystal thing, and they're like, "Hey, is there such a thing as a regeneration matrix here on this Earth?" The computer does its search thing. No, there's no such thing. All hope is lost, but Superman's like, "Oh, hey, no worries. I'm still here around. He's lucky to have you, Lana. You're such a great friend. Let me take you home." And I believe I've been saying this since I've heard about this new Superman being on our Earth. I'm pretty sure he's going to step in and be the Superman we love and know. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. I'm glad we're getting the old Superman back. I am bummed the New 52 version is dead, but if we get the old one, so be it. Maybe we won't even miss him, or maybe he could come back as a villain. I'm not sure, but I like this. It's a great issue. I'm a bit biased because I love Superman, but if you haven't read a Superman comic in a while, this is a great one to pick up. You see, book of the evening, Green Lanterns. That's right, Lanterns, Rebirth #1. It's also a one-shot, but it sets up 2 new characters, so if you don't want to read all the backstory on Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, Guy Gardner. I could keep going, guys. If you don't want to hear any about them, and you want to meet 2 fresh new characters who have new blank slates, this is the book for you. This follows Jessica Cruz, the new Green Lantern. She was a Power Ring before. Power Ring's the evil crime syndicate version of Green Lantern, and there was a whole crazy forever evil event. They ended up killing him, and the ring went to her, and she became a Green Lantern. And Simon Baz, he was set up in the New 52 as well. He is a Middle Eastern Green Lantern who carries a gun. That's his main thing, and he has a pretty cool design. I'll throw an image up over the Rebirth poster. He is very solid. I don't know what's happened to him since I've met him in the comics. He seems very content with life right now. He's living with his sister, but since they're Middle Eastern and we're still dealing with prejudice and stuff, people are spray painting and saying that Simon's a terrorist and that his sister is, and he's getting kind of tired of that. But Hala has a new mission to team Jessica and Simon up since they're new. Almost buddy cop style, which they're also saying the Green Lantern movie might be like. So this could be a little preview into what we're getting. They're also setting up a new Red Lantern event called Red Dawn. Not like the movie with Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen and all that stuff, but the Red Lanterns are led by this guy called Atrocitus. They're fueled by anger. The Green Lanterns are fueled by willpower. Yeah, I'm the power battery of the Green Lanterns. That's what's up. Anyway, they're setting up this event. I have no idea what's to come. I'm really excited to be picking up Green Lantern again. I just know after Jeff Johns left the book, they kept doing event after event after event, and it got daunting. I know I didn't tell you too much about the book, but I don't want to spoil stuff. And yeah, it's pretty solid. If you want 2 new fresh Green Lanterns to latch onto, this is the book for you. All new, all different Avengers number 9. And this is if you can't see right there where my finger's about at, there is a thing on there that says this is the new jumping on point. And the Free Comic Book Day issue kind of set me up to read this one. We are greeted here with the new Wasp, the new introduction of this new Wasp. This book is continuing to make a new, all-different team. We're dealing with the aftermath of this event called Pleasant Hill. I don't know much about it, but I know Maria Hill was involved. And in fact, if you want to hear more about it, I'm going to just plug my friends here who are also on YouTube. They were called Nerd Church, but they're the Comic Relief Cast. I'll post a link in the description below. They are awesome. They tackled that event. But the gist of it is, I don't know. You go watch their video or Google it. The Assault on Pleasant Hill, Standoff, I believe that's what it's called. Anyway, they're relaxing, and the Avengers hangar, not the mansion. Like, everything's all new, all different. We got the all-new Captain America, which is Sam Wilson. I think the only one who's an original Avenger is Tony Stark. He has all new, all different armor. We also have Miles Morales Spider-Man, new design for the Vision, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in this. We get a little segment about Jarvis feeling useless because every time he tries to do his butlery duties for Mr. Stark or the Avengers, they have to go off and save the world, or the place gets destroyed. So Jarvis feels like, oh, I can't amount to that. But anyway, Vision's going nuts. He was attacked by Kang recently, based on the context of this comic book, from what I read. And they think some Kang tech has infected him. The Avengers try to subdue him, and then Miles Morales' spider sense goes off and goes, oh, hey, there's something human right by him, but I can't see anything. They find the new Wasp, and it also turns out that she is the step or grandniece of Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne. Everyone doesn't believe her. They do DNA tests, and she actually helps fix the Vision with some of the new tech she's made with Hank Pym's technology. She's earned their trust, and this is a great new addition to the all-new, all-different Avengers. I eventually want to pick up the other first 8 issues that got into this, and maybe even tackle Pleasant Hill at some point. But this is solid. I like this new character. I definitely like the new team dynamic here, and I can't wait to read more. I totally recommend it, but if you haven't read comics or don't know what's going on in Marvel, this may be a little bit tricky. A quick Google search will tell you anything about these characters, or if you've been on Facebook or Yahoo, they've been covering these stories with oh, there's a new woman Thor, there's a new black Captain America. Things are going nuts in comics. This is great. I totally recommend it. And now, what you've all been waiting for. Steve Rogers, Captain America, number 1. Hail Hydra. Alright, so, what do I think of this Hail Hydra reveal? Well, when people were texting me about this event, or whatever was going on with Steve, I was like, what? They were like, oh, hey, did you hear about Captain America? Did you hear about Captain America? What was trending that day before I saw this issue was give Captain America a boyfriend because that'd be cool since there's new things going on in the world. And I'm like, I thought that's what people were talking about. Going, they're not really doing that, are they? I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but well, are they doing that? Like, what's going on? But no, everyone sent this BuzzFeed article that just showed that panel out of context, and that really annoys me to a degree. I try to be positive, but people were freaking out. I know Hydra is sort of like the Nazi Party, and not sort of, they are like the allegory for the Nazi Party, but I believe the movies and even some comic things have even have separated Hydra and the Nazi Party, and Captain America. It's not like Captain America's like morals have completely changed. This still seems like Steve. He's getting used to his young body. But let's tackle this story. This issue is also followed after the Pleasant Hill event. Apparently, the Cosmic Cube. For those of you who don't know what the Cosmic Cube is, if you've seen the Avengers movie, you knew that blue cube Loki was using, the Tesseract. That's the Cosmic Cube. Anyway, that thing is sentient. It is a person now, and it turned Steve into his young, youthful self again, and then went off and did its own thing. It disappeared. Crazy, right? Comics are weird. Anyway, he's formed a new team with himself, Sharon Carter. It looks like Bucky and Sam Wilson will show up later in this book, and some other obscure characters like Jack Flag. I really like that new character, but he ends up throwing him out of a helicopter later. Spoilers. Because he's kidnapping somebody. Anyway, they are doing some missions to stop Hydra and take their war on Hydra, like I mentioned in the Free Comic Book Day issue. So Cap is being led by his girlfriend Sharon, who is the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, technically. And there's always a rotating cast of people running S.H.I.E.L.D. Anyway, they're tackling those, but we also get some backstory on Cap. Back to the 1920s when Steve was but a little child and his parents were still alive. And we see that his father was a drunk. I don't know if that's completely canon or if they're doing something different here. But he's beating Steve's mom, which I do not condone. That's crazy. Like, it's crazy how Captain America came from such a crazy home. But this woman in red and black, think about that. A woman in red and black comes to try to subdue Joseph Rogers. Yeah, Joseph Rogers. And he's like, hey, like, you need to go walk out of your situation. This isn't cool. Don't hit your wife. I'll take your boy and Sarah out to dinner. She didn't directly say that, I'm paraphrasing, but she gets them away from that situation and beats the crap out of Joseph. Anyway, they're talking, reminiscing, Sarah and this mysterious woman. She mentions, oh, hey, Steve seems like such a happy boy, seems like a great kid. I feel like he's destined for greatness, which is kind of weird because he does turn into Captain America. This woman isn't wrong, which has got me going crazy with theories right now. Like, is this woman a Hydra agent who found the Cosmic Cube and went back in time so she could change stuff, like Steve's origins? Was this woman always in canon? I don't know. But anyway, she reveals this letter to Sarah Rogers about a way to get away from drunken Joseph Rogers, and it's a Hydra note. And then we open up to a few pages later, and we get to the whole Hail Hydra reveal. So, with all that in context, I hope that makes sense. I hope I put all the pieces together and it makes sense here, but this story has not played out completely yet. I have no idea why Captain America would say something like Hail Hydra or be a double, triple, quadruple agent. I have no idea. I want to see how this story plays out. Like, in fact, I wasn't even going to pick this thing up because Cap's new suit looked a little bit stupid. I know that's a silly reason, but I don't know. That's almost too blue. I mean, Superman's the big blue Boy Scout, not him. They're both Boy Scouts. Anyway, I want to see how this plays out. I don't know that there could be a crazy time travel plot. Maybe Red Skull doused him or drugged him with something. Maybe him messing with a cosmic cube changed the course of history and made him a Hydra agent. I don't know. I usually give TV shows, comic books, stuff like that, 3 episodes, 3 issues to let it play out. So I'm going to keep reading this till issue 3, and I'll let you know what has happened up to that point. But so far, I recommend it. If nothing else, this is going to be a historic issue. I mean, I imagine they're already printing this off with crazy variants for the second printing, so I totally recommend it. And I hope this was semi-informative and you kind of know what's going on with Steve Rogers. If not, there's always the past Captain America comics to read if you're not going to like this direction. So what do you guys think? What book interests you and intrigued you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Also in there, why don't you go ahead and press that like button or subscribe. Share this with your friends if you're trying to get into comic books or get them into comic books. Because there's some cool recommendations here and there's great jumping on points right now in comics. And also, just always support your local comic book shops. I feel like I say that kind of like half-assed in my other videos. But they're like small little businesses. Like they're almost like little mom and pop shops almost. But the one I go to the most is Jim and Dan's in West Alexandria, Ohio. They're really great guys. If you talk to them for a hot minute or kind of get like the way of the land with them, kind of let them know like what you like or what you don't like, they'll try to figure out something for you or give you subscriptions to comics. You can always ask them for jumping on points if this video wasn't informative because they probably have more of a knowing on since they see this stuff every day. Just, they're a great place. If you live in the area in Ohio, go check them out. And yeah, that's my little plug for this video today. And as always, guys, when there's a will, there's a way. Thanks for watching.